SYCL is one of the large accelerator compute APIs available on the market. Built to compete directly with NVIDIA's CUDA and AMD's ROCm through HIP, this specific software package actually offers a decent amount of differentiating features that make it worth checking out over CUDA if you've got an x86 CPU or Intel integrated or discrete graphics in your system. While I have the most experience writing CUDA code, I also have experience porting both a really basic ray-traced renderer as well as a standard rasterized port on all three of the big APIs. I will say that from a raw programming perspective, CUDA and ROCm provide the easiest place to jump in if you have standard C experience. The syntax, program structure, and data structures in use all feel very C-flavored, which I'm sure is completely intentional. SYCL, meanwhile, is a C++ API, and as such uses all the C++ features to get the job done. The first and most immediate example of this is where CUDA and ROCm allow the end programmer to just pass a single int into the GPU selection function, essentially letting you just choose between which device you'd like to run your functions on. SYCL, on the other hand, functions completely differently. You end up using a pointer to the device's SYCL queue every time you want to call a function on that specific device. It's a much easier and discrete method of running across multiple devices at a time, instead of essentially having to context switch to a separate device's execution stream on the host CPU. However, actually pulling the appropriate device classes and the associated queues ranges from as simple as using an inbuilt function from the API, which sometimes doesn't do a great job detecting the appropriate device on the correct platform, to requiring your own 30 to 40 line implementation to sort the available platforms and pull device information for the feature set you want to use. On SYCL, there are currently 3 different feature levels that you can run on both the x86 CPU and GPU devices. First is the OpenCL platform, which lets you just run standard OpenCL code on the device. This can also be used for writing multi-core CPU code. The second is OpenCL Graphics, which has some additional built-in graphics data structures and supported algorithms, but by and large these first two aren't really where you'll see the most performance. The third is the Level 0 platform, which is exclusive to Intel GPU devices, and it includes everything from the XMX cores to accessing the explicit SIMD structures for the Z-vector engines. The third Level 0 platform is where you'll see the most performance speedups, but it also usually doesn't ever get selected by the GPU selector function built into the API. You'll more than likely need to manually select it yourself. Another massive difference is how you end up calling device functions. On CUDA and ROCm, it's literally as simple as adding a tag to your function and appropriately accessing the indices inside. SYCL does the same thing, but the syntax is completely different. First, you're having to use classes available from the API to submit a SYCL handler, which then is used to launch a parallel for loop inside the submission. The syntax for launching the parallel for includes the ranges you want to launch the function on, and then the internal indexing structure. Both of these are declared inside the lambda, which actually contains the GPU code. It looks pretty alien if you aren't used to reading this syntax, but if you are, you'll pick right up on what's going on where and how it's being accomplished. Additionally, how you're choosing to allocate and access memory on the device changes the syntax of doing so inside the kernel or device function. You have the ability to use the unified memory features available through SYCL and can just malloc, memcopy, and free memory on the device at runtime, which allows you to access data inside the kernels like you would any other array inside CUDA or ROCm. Or you can use buffers, which automatically handle the memcopying, but you end up needing to use accessors inside the handler declaration before you enter the kernel, to access data from inside them in the kernel. I personally prefer to just handle these transactions and mallocs myself, because the performance overhead you see by using accessors and buffers can be kind of extreme when you're managing more than a few hundred kilobytes of data at a time.